Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are those of the GOAT, or the greatest of all titos, and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of all titos or uncles around the world. Possibly a few, but definitely not all.
Okay. So here's a topic that I'd like to talk about. As a tito, as a member of Generation X. And I really do not have the entire idea ironed out. I know what I want to talk about, but wala pa. Kumbaga, basically what I'll be saying is just wala, itatapon ko na yung idea out there and hopefully I'll be able to edit it in such a way that will make sense. It's two things, two different principles that for me match. And that is trust the process. It's a statement that you hear often with a lot of people, not necessarily people of my age, but even people of your age, the people of today. You hear them say that, trust the process. And knowing something in the right context. You hear that then, context. You hear a lot of people talk about it, that most of the mistakes that people get is because it was taken way out of context. You hear that. You hear them talk about that. And those two statements, feeling ko they're connected in certain contexts. Trust the process. I'll give you an example. So when I first went to get adjusted sa isang chiropractor, my chief complaint, or the reason why I decided to get myself adjusted, was because I was complaining of a sharp pain on my right hip, to the point wherein my feet, the toes on my right foot, merong tingling sensation. But okay, so I went to the chiropractor, told him my concern. But for the first 5-6 sessions, mind you, ito hindi murang session to. This is a chiropractor na hindi ito yung mga pucho-pucho na chiropractor na walang degree. This one is a doctor. So, doktor pala mga chiropractor. Yung mga ibang hindi doktor, I'd like to call them mga YouTube chiropractors. Anyway, after 6 sessions, mind you, one session would last somewhere between 2 to 5 minutes tops. I'm not kidding, ganun kabilis. And at the first few adjustments, it was frustrating. Kasi nga, first of all, so you would tell them the situation, he would make you walk for a few seconds. Then when he starts adjusting you, it feels like he never addressed the concern that I came to him for. He would adjust something else. He would hit something else. He would crack something else. And it would go on for the next 3 to 5 visits. But when the 6th visit came, he adjusted me as per usual. It wasn't the adjustment that got me convinced. It was how it affected my body. So again, I was telling you, I was complaining about a sharp pain on my right hip. There was still pain, but the pain shifted from the right part of my hip to the middle. That was one. Another thing that I noticed, that I was walking straighter. Because I'm a big guy, I thought me walking side to side was normal because of my size. It turns out that there was like a false, like a wrong rotation of my hips from an accident that I got like a few months ago, that I didn't realize had a huge impact on the way I walk. Now I walk straight. I mean, yes, meron pa ring pain, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So now I just need to get used to walking longer and farther. Trust the process. It also goes, so trust the process. There's a post that I saw in Facebook that I shared, and it was with it was from the point of view of a teacher who complained that students nowadays do not appreciate the value of hard work, the value of patience. Better siguro, I'll just post it here. You can pause if you want. And because of this generation, and I think a few generations before this pa, because nga of the internet, because nga of everything becoming instant, there's instant gratification, they don't appreciate hard work anymore. They don't appreciate waiting before getting the reward. People now would rather, kunyari lang, if we're gonna compare it like to money, kunyari, they would rather get like 10,000 pesos now than wait 2 months for an amount that is not disclosed. Pero the amount is 600,000. Hindi lang sinabi sa kanila. Kasi for them, it's not worth the risk of not knowing. Kailangan malaman nila. It's the idea of what's in it for me before wanting to do something. And yeah, kids these days don't appreciate that anymore. They would rather know what's in it for them. If people now adjust to that need or want that hindi pa nga nabibigay, hindi pa na-earn, binibigay na kaagad. Hindi pa na pagtatrabaho, hindi man lang in-effortan, ibibigay na kaagad. Since nga they're not taught to appreciate things like that, that everything else will not be interesting to them anymore. Kasi parang, wala naman namang kuwang dyan eh. Everything needs to have context. Hindi porket sinabi ni Gary V, that is how it should be. Hindi siya naniniwala sa, there's a statement that he came out that he doesn't believe in college. Yeah, but if you watch the entire video, it explains it. So you cannot just generalize and say that education is bad. Same as for working in corporate, doesn't necessarily make you any less than those who are who have their own business. Kasi these people who have their own business took bigger risks. Doesn't necessarily work that way. There's some people who genuinely enjoy working in corporate, being corporate slave. There are other people who would rather be an entrepreneur. I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. For each his own. Wala sabog na utak ko. I really don't know what I'm getting at. Pero yun nga lang yung gusto kong sabihin. At the beginning of the video. Trust the process. Trust the process. That's it.